June is almost here. Actually, it's already starting. And these last 5 days of the month aren't just important. They're game changers. Once these days pass, things won't go back to how they were before. These final days aren't just dates on a calendar. They're moments of pressure. Everything feels a little off right now, but not in a bad way. Time feels thicker, words carry more weight, and underneath it all, something is trying to break through. This isn't just in your head. This time of year is when your inner fire, your gut feeling, your true self, doesn't just wake up. It's called forward. Not quietly, but like a signal that everything picks up on. Your breathing, your thoughts, your sleep, even your body. You might sense something crawling just beneath the surface of your life. Something invisible and hard to explain. Because by the end of the month, this fire will either burn away what's old or purify it. And it all starts now. Also, if something weird or oddly timed happened to you recently, share it below. You might not be the only one going through it. And heads up, there's a big opportunity coming your way soon. But if you don't know what to look for, you could miss it. I'll explain in a bit. But first, here's something important no one's talking about. Silence is becoming more powerful than noise. You'll notice it, maybe you already have. The people who used to fill every room with loud, ego-driven talk and endless explanations are fading fast. These last days of June are cutting through that old way of being. Now it's the quiet, calm people, the ones who hold energy without trying too hard, who are starting to take up space without saying a word. This isn't about status, it's about energy. You'll see it happen. Watch how people start paying attention to those they can't explain but feel drawn to. It's real. And once July arrives, this shift won't be undone. You want to be on the right side of it. Right before everything changes, your system won't shut down. It opens up. Not with panic or resistance, but with this strange, uncontrollable urge to laugh, even if it doesn't make sense. You're in the middle of uncertainty. Things feel tense, people act out, timing feels off. But inside, something clicks, and you laugh. Not because you're amused or crazy, but because your spirit knows it can't be broken. This laughter doesn't come from happiness or madness. It comes from knowing nothing controls you. That's the fire that's been quietly building all month under your skin. Now it's awake, and it's not scared. Fire doesn't mourn a falling building. It dances through it and rises above it. It's not here to fix the past. It's here to become what's next. So if you catch yourself laughing when things should feel overwhelming, that's not weird. It's a sign. It means fear can't grab you anymore. The storm isn't bigger than you. It's just louder, and you've stopped listening. Power doesn't shout, it smiles. Look for it. It might show up as something small, a strange rule, an unexpected cancellation, a flat no, just when you thought things were moving forward. Maybe even a sudden feeling or voice telling you to slow down or be careful. It's not random. That's the pressure trying to keep your fire contained. That's the final test. Right now, that pressure might feel real, like the universe is trying to hold you back. But what you're really feeling is your energy shifting. The more alive your spirit gets, the more old systems will try to keep you small. But that's not a sign to stop. It's proof you need to grow. Anything trying to hold you back now isn't the enemy. It's just outdated stuff reacting to something new. Here's the truth. Fire doesn't break walls, it burns away their meaning. So let the delays happen. Let the rules come up. Let the obstacles appear. But don't follow old logic. The real test isn't breaking through. It's growing beyond without hesitation. Your growth doesn't argue or explain. It just happens. You might feel this tonight, or maybe you already do. That feeling where you should be tired, but your body feels alive. Not like caffeine or anxiety. It's deeper, like something ancient waking up inside you and refusing to rest. This isn't normal restlessness. It's your energy refusing to lie down. Sometimes you can't sleep because your soul isn't done speaking. Between now and the 30th, sleep might feel less like rest and more like a ritual. Alive, like you're not escaping the world, but stepping into a different one, louder than usual. Dreams may get intense, symbolic, messy, or beautiful. Or maybe you won't dream at all. You might just wake up again and again with a strange feeling that something was just here. And here's the twist. It's not because something's wrong, it's because something's ready. Your inner fire doesn't want to be boxed in, and when distractions fade at night, it starts to rise. It hums, stretches, looks for space. If you've been holding back your voice, your ideas, your gut feelings, the fire doesn't disappear. It shows up as tension in your body. You might feel overheated when lying down. You might get flashes of clarity between 2 and 4 a.m. You might cry for no reason or laugh at something that isn't funny. It's not random. You might not be dreaming. You might be listening. This is a time when silence is closer, and the nights between now and the 30th aren't quiet. They're invitations, not from the stars, but from you, your deepest, wildest self, the one that doesn't follow clocks or rules, wants space, and doesn't wait for morning. So if you're not sleeping well right now, don't panic or blame your habits. Don't think you're broken. It means your body is remembering what it feels like to hold light. Let it rise. Here's something nobody really tells you about spiritual opportunities. They almost never show up looking like clear choices. Instead, they come as interruptions. A random conversation you overhear, a phrase someone says that just sticks in your mind, or a weird idea that feels charged with meaning. This week, the last 5 days of June, you'll be surrounded by chances, but they won't look like doors with signs or announcements. Instead, they'll feel like glitches in your routine, or strange pulls toward people, places, or ideas that weren't on your radar. Don't wait for a clear door to open. Just follow where it feels warm. Some of you might feel like reaching out to someone you haven't talked to in years. Others may suddenly be drawn to a topic, a project, or even a color you can't stop noticing. Your logical brain will try to explain it away, but this isn't about logic. It's about fire, and fire doesn't ask permission. It just moves. The key now is to recognize the feeling, not the shape. Fire doesn't come with a sign that says opportunity. It's a pull, a spark. If you ignore it, you might feel like nothing special happened this week. But if you trust the little things, the strange nudges, odd encounters, you'll see you were stepping through invisible doors all along. Real guidance doesn't push you. It pulls, waiting to see if you're brave enough to follow. There's a strange pressure in the air that doesn't make sense if you just think about it. Sure, the days are longer, but it's more than daylight. It feels thick and heavy, like the sun isn't just shining but watching you. It's no longer giving you clear answers. It's overwhelming you with intensity. This isn't a time for obvious answers. In fact, the more you look for clear signs, the more confused you might feel. That's how fire acts at its brightest. When something burns too bright, it doesn't show what's beneath. It blinds you. That's what these last days of June are doing, flooding your senses and forcing you to rely on something else, your instincts. These aren't days to figure everything out. They're days to feel your way forward. Fire doesn't give clarity. It removes the need for it. If your plans suddenly feel unclear or your certainty starts to fade, don't freak out. That's transformation, not confusion. The clarity you had before was just a placeholder. This intense energy is breaking down old certainties so something more real can come up. And right now, this something won't come in words or visions. It comes from your gut, your breath, your ability to move without knowing the next step. Everything inside you is being asked to trust the path, even if you can't see 2 steps ahead. That's not weakness. It's exactly the kind of strength this energy wants to wake up. Not the kind of strength that plans everything, but the kind that burns bright without falling apart. And if everything around you feels too loud, too fast, or just overwhelming, that's your cue. The outside world is at full volume now. It's time to listen to the quietest voice, the one inside that doesn't use words. The sun is hiding its secrets not to keep you out, but to pull you deeper into yourself. And what you'll find isn't a clear message. It's a flame, not for understanding, but for moving forward anyway. You don't need a map when your steps are already following the fire. Something weird is happening with communication right now. It's not just about telling the truth or hiding it. It's about how words feel the moment you say them. Even little white lies or deflections suddenly feel heavy, like they drag behind you. You might catch yourself stopping mid-sentence because it just doesn't feel right. These days are soaked in fire energy, and fire doesn't tolerate what's unnecessary. It's not about morals, it's about weight. Lies, even small ones, feel dense. They won't hold up. They might fall flat or echo back at you unexpectedly. You'll sense it in your body before you realize you said something off. This is especially true when you want to stay quiet, but something inside pushes you to speak. The discomfort in silence grows. Not because someone else needs to hear, but because you do. You'll feel restless in conversations where you pretend. You'll feel drained around people expecting an old version of you. Holding back won't protect you. It'll wear you down. These last days of June aren't just about energy shifts. They're about lining up your thoughts, words, and presence. If your words don't match your inner fire, you'll feel it. Tension, confusion, or sudden tiredness after speaking. That's not a coincidence. It's your true self pushing for balance. Here's the good part. When you speak from that place of truth, everything changes. Your words land differently. People listen differently. Conversations shift. Not because you're louder, but because you're real. Fire respects authenticity. These aren't days for perfect speeches. They're days for honest ones. So if your voice shakes, let it. If your truth is messy, say it anyway. If you need silence to find your balance first, take it. Because right now, speaking your truth carries way more power than saying what's comfortable. It's your truth, not your image, that will move you forward. What you're feeling in your body right now, especially in your chest, hands, or head, isn't just heat from summer. It's not just stress, caffeine, or random restlessness. It's something older than words, something your body feels before your mind can catch up. We've called it passion, inspiration, or anxiety before, but in these last days of June, it's none of those exactly. This is spiritual fire itself, not an idea, but a real feeling. You might notice your heart beating fast for no reason, a flush in your cheeks, warmth in your palms, or a strange pulse in your neck when you're just sitting still. Some people might say they're feeling wound up or overstimulated, but what's really happening is that the fire inside you, your raw, creative energy, is getting too strong to ignore. Right now, the line between your spirit and your body is super thin, and that energy is leaking out, not as thoughts or visions, but as a physical feeling, like heat. And here's the important part. Most people will try to calm this down. They'll drink water, take deep breaths, go for a walk, do all the usual things to relax. But this isn't something to calm. It's something to honor. This is a call to move. Fire doesn't show up because you're out of balance. It shows up because your balance has grown beyond its old limits. When this energy rises and you try to hold it in, it gets stuck. That's when it burns your focus, overheats your mind, and simmers under your skin. But when you let it out, through expressing yourself, speaking up, or taking action, it changes completely. It turns into creation, momentum, and vision. So the question isn't, how do I calm down? It's, what is this energy asking me to create? What conversation, project, or change is trying to happen through me right now? Fire is only dangerous if you think it's a problem. If you see it as a message, it becomes your strongest ally. You don't have to explain it or understand it fully. You just need to stop blocking it. Because once this fire finds a way out, it's unstoppable. For many of you, these last 5 days of June will be a turning point, not because something big happens outside, but because you finally stop hiding what's been growing inside you. Have you noticed those quick moments when, without thinking, you do something bold? Maybe you send that message, speak your truth, or step into something new without a plan, and it doesn't feel risky. It feels right. That's not a coincidence. That's your inner fire breaking through, taking over before fear can stop you. This isn't acting on impulse. It's instinct turned up to full volume. These last days of June boost this kind of energy. Not the noisy kind, but the kind that moves you before your ego can catch up. It's quick, subtle, and powerful because it skips logic and taps into true alignment. You might surprise yourself with what you can do suddenly. Some will wake up with a strong pull to make a decision they've been avoiding for years. Others might say something out loud they never planned, but it hits exactly right. This isn't reckless. It's real, raw bravery you've been taught to delay. True courage doesn't wait for approval. It acts because it's already in tune with truth. You'll notice this fire doesn't make a big show. It doesn't announce itself. It just moves. And what's amazing is how quickly people respond. Authentic courage creates ripples. People feel it. It opens doors. It changes dynamics. And most importantly, it changes how you show up in the world. You don't need a 5-step plan or approval from others. The bravery rising now doesn't ask for validation. It just needs a moment, and you have 5 days full of those moments. The energy inside you is ready, waiting for a crack in the door to flood through. That moment when your heart races and your hands shake right before you act. That's your signal. That's the time to move. Because if it comes from fire, it won't lead to chaos. It'll bring clarity you didn't know you were ready for. Don't try to schedule it or wait for a perfect time. This kind of bravery only comes once. When it arrives, move with it. This could be the start of your whole next chapter. This isn't about destruction. The old prophecy, the feeling of something stirring inside you. It wasn't about endings. It was about ignition. Not the end of the world, but the end of dormancy. You felt it in your chest, the heat behind your thoughts, the way your words tried to break free even before you spoke them. These past days haven't just been intense emotionally, they've been a beginning. You're not the same person you were at the start of June. Something inside you has torn away old layers, and what's left isn't weakness, it's your core. That true you, the one hidden under politeness, doubt, and shrinking to fit in. That you is stepping forward, not just as an idea, but in how you speak, move, decide, and live. You're not finding your voice, you're remembering it. By the 30th, something inside you will settle, not by becoming still, but by becoming certain. You'll feel like something clicked, not because everything is solved, but because the part of you that waited for signs or apologized for needing space will no longer be in charge. There will be boundaries you don't need to explain. There will be an energy in how you show up that changes the room without shouting. Just feel what's standing at your center now, calm, wild, and unwilling to shrink again. You're not ending something, you're starting something new, with fire in your bones. And this time, it's here to stay. If you're still with me, thanks for listening. If you like this, consider subscribing for more. Feel free to share your thoughts or experiences below. Until next time, take care and see you soon.